Steve Martin stars in this change of the 1950 Vincente Minnelli exemplary as shoe leader George Banks, whose cheerfully hitched presence hits a knock when he welcomes his little girl Annie, Kimberly Williams, home from a semester concentrating in Europe. She lets her dad know that she is locked in to be hitched. Whenever the stunned George asks to whom, she says he goes by Brian, George Newbern, and that he is an autonomous correspondence's advisor. George is significantly more stunned when he figures out what the wedding will cost, when George goes through the card record for welcomed wedding visitors and is informed somebody is perished. George trills, "He passed on." That is perfect. As George is disregarded during the frantic arrangements for the wedding, he thoughtfully thinks back to every one of the great times he has had with Annie and unfortunately anticipates when he loses his daughter. Producers: Carol Baum, Howard Rosenman, Nancy Myers. Cast: Kimberly Williams, Kate McGregor Stewart.
The most astonishing revelation crowds are making about Steve Martin at this phase of his profession is that he is a warm entertainer, warm, but not charming. My picture of Martin, shaped from his stage persona and his initial films, was of a crisp, wise fellow of obvious knowledge, however little compassion. But see his best ongoing screen jobs, in the films Life as a Parent, LA Story, and presently, Father of the Bride. He's one of the most compassionate men on the screen. In Father of the Bride, his personality is roused by a 1950 Spencer Tracy job, and most would agree he is just about as amiable as Tracy. Maybe more direct, he assumes a part similar as the one played by Alan Alda in Betsy's Wedding, and in spite of the fact that Alda has made a vocation out of getting along folks and normally does it convincingly, I loved Martin better. The screenplay is unsurprising, and assuming you've seen the trailer you have, in some sense, seen the film. The screenplay depends on affirmations, not shocks. All that we think will occur, does. In that sense it resembles an effective wedding. Martin and Diane Keaton play the somewhat incredibly joyfully wedded guardians of a young lady, Kimberly Williams, and a little kid, Kieran, of the Culkin youngster tradition. Their girl heads out to read up in Europe for a semester, and gets back home gleaming with satisfaction and declaring her commitment. The dad of the lady of the hour isn't satisfied by the possibility of losing his daughter. He is even less satisfied when he figures out what the wedding will cost. A new news anecdote about the raising expenses of weddings recounted a dad who offered his girl a decision: a pleasant function or a townhouse. This isn't too distant. The wedding in Father of the Bride is evaluated out at $250 a head, and obviously the absolute minimum list of attendees at first comes to something like 600 individuals. Now, in one of the film's most interesting scenes, Martin and Keaton join Williams in going through their card record, seeing who they can forget about. He kicked the bucket? That is perfect. Martin Short has a comical star character job as Frank Egelofer, the wedding organizer, who talks in a unique way that is by all accounts part vocal European and part nasal clogged, and who concurs earnestly that the wedding ought not be excessively extravagant, in spite of the fact that his meaning of balance some way or another incorporates 3 live swans. He handles Martin nearly with feel sorry for. From long experience, he knows what the dad is in for, and excuses him even the tuxedo which Martin demands as a dark Armani and the organizer has valid justification to accept as dull blue polyester. The best minutes in the film are not, nonetheless, the entries of clear satire. I didn't much go for the drawn-out set piece that elaborate Martin visiting his parents-in-law's restroom and winding up in the pool. This is a film with heart, and there are little minutes in it when Martin is profoundly moved by the way that this ideal animal he brought into the world is presently going to begin her very own group. There is, for instance, a contacting second when he contacts his heart, as though it will explode. Another second when Keaton tenderly rectifies his unique vision of the wedding service, bunches of inflatables in the backyard, and Martin remaining at the grill barbecue wearing a gourmet expert's cap. Also, the impact of a second when Martin understands his girl currently pays attention to her life partner, not her old father, for accommodating ideas. Father of the Bride isn't as aggressive or as sagacious as Life as a Parent, the film it ought to most likely be connected with in Martin's vocation. Its insights are all the more sweet and delicate. Be that as it may, It's one of the motion pictures with a great deal of grins and chuckling in it, and a positive sentiment the entire way through. The film was coordinated by Charles Shire and created by Nancy Myers, and their past credits remember two movies for similar vein, Beyond Reconciliation Differences, and Time of Increased Birth Rates, which featured Keaton as a profession lady who out of nowhere gets herself a mother. There are no extraordinary disclosures of dazzling bits of knowledge in their movies. Simply daily existence, energetically noticed.